Hello, and welcome to this video examining the differences and similarities between high fructose corn syrup and corn syrup. Corn syrup is the previously described misnomer of a brewing sugar. High fructose corn syrup is a sucrose substitute largely developed for the United States of America. It differs from corn syrup because the process converts a significant portion of the corn-derived glucose into fructose. These are two products with very similar origins and names, but with very different purposes. Even Google's native advertising has been using the two interchangeably. For brevity and simplicity, high fructose corn syrup will be referred to as fructose syrup from here on. The short description of corn syrup is that of a carbohydrate derived from corn and is primarily composed of starch and other longer, more complex saccharide chains. This is generally a chain of glucose with some maltose impurities. The process of creating corn sugar creates a nearly pure glucose product. It is produced by combining an alpha amylase enzyme with derived cornstarch, and then combining the product of this with another enzyme, glucoamylase. This yields approximately 0.4 units of cornstarch for every 1 unit of corn used in production. For more details on manufacturing or use, click the link in the top right or in the description box below. Fructose syrup begins with the same process of extracting cornstarch. Greater care is given to the deactivation of starch degradation enzymes. Here the process begins to diverge as well. The addition of an enzyme will break down the starch and convert the glucose into fructose. As you can see here, it is a small change that removes 2 hydrogen ions. Alpha amylases are added to cut these long starch and fructose chains into shorter saccharides. This yields a 3-part liquid product. It is made from 42% fructose, 50% glucose, and up to 10% impurities, of which the majority is starch. These are distinct units unlike sucrose, in which the glucose and fructose are bonded. By comparison to other sugars, fructose syrup is sweeter, more stable, and easier to work with. This is also why it is called high fructose corn syrup. It is a poor choice of labeling to identify the presence of fructose, rather than the quantity. Different processes are used to refine this further, with an upper range of 90% and a lower range of 42% fructose conversion. As a broad rule, 65% high fructose syrup is the most concentrate used in commercial sweet drink production. There will be more details on that later. The use of fructose syrup with beverages like Coca-Cola has led to a close association with adverse conditions and events. This has in turn led to a belief that fructose syrup is less safe than other carbohydrates. The generally consistent finding of research into fructose syrup has failed to find or demonstrate an adverse relationship. This has been a consistent position since the 1960s. This is not to say that fructose syrup or sucrose are perfect substitutes for each other. There is a discernible taste difference between sucrose and fructose syrup, despite its use as a substitute. For this reason, some Coca-Cola factories and other brands produce a seasonal or region-specific product that does not have fructose syrup. This is largely a public relations maneuver. High fructose syrup is primarily used as a sweetener in the United States of America. This owes to the financial advantages of sugar and import tariffs, government subsidies, and taxes. By using fructose syrup, recipes with greater tolerances can be created and used. This is because sucrose is less stable in alkaline or acidic solutions, such as carbonated beverages. Some states and federal laws in America require sugary drinks to be taxed at a higher rate, and sugar being imported to be taxed at a higher rate. Some companies may receive money from the government for using a set quota of corn in production of high fructose corn syrup and other products. For this reason, a company using it may make more money out of this particular product than they would using the more preferred sucrose option. As you have seen, corn syrup is a precursor to high fructose corn syrup, but they are not the same thing. High fructose corn syrup is an economical and industrial convenience that reduces production costs. Despite a poor reputation, there is little evidence against high fructose corn syrup, or that high fructose corn syrup is substantially different to sucrose. Thank you for watching this video. If it has been of interest, consider liking, sharing, and subscribing. Please post any comments, questions, or suggestions below.